Hey guys, what's up? Sorry this is late. It happened again. I'm telling you, why can I not operate an alarm on gosh damn it. This never works. How does this never work? What am I doing wrong? All right, I'm gonna set it for three. I just tried for an experiment to set it for 3:10. It doesn't go off. I don't understand why I had the alarm set for 2:40, so I would get up and do the show, and I didn't get up till 3. The alarm didn't go off. I set it for 3:10. I don't understand what's so freaking hard about this. Look at this. That's how you set an alarm, is it not? Well, that says 3:10. Hang on. Gosh damn it. I'm sorry this is late. I didn't mean for it to be. Uh, so I'll try it again. So it's right now it's 3:15. We'll set it for 3:20. Okay, now watch this. I'm going to do it. You guys are watching this. It says 3:20. Well, it says 3:20 right there in the sliders. So then I hit save. 3:20 p.m. I don't understand this. And the other day I had an important interview with somebody. Thank God I woke up on time though. Right before I was supposed to talk to that guy at T Oak. I laid down for a second and did the same thing, and the freaking thing didn't go off. But luckily I woke up. But this is now the third or fourth time this has happened to me. I don't understand. It's not like it's unsetting itself. It still says 3:20. It won't ring at 3:20. I don't freaking understand it. I just don't know why that would be like that. Anyway, I'm sorry that I just hate when it doesn't go off. Anyway, I'm sorry I'm late. I tried to be on time. I was going to do a HIMSS earnings trade for everybody. I put one to Discord just for, I was trying to help out somebody in Discord, but I thought it'd be fun to do it here too. Anyway, I'm so sorry. I don't know. So we'll see. It's 3:16. I just don't get it. It never works. Hey, Summit Man, how are you doing? Hope it's a beautiful day up there in Canada, upstate New York, wherever you're at. I know it's up in that same area. It's like fall down here in Austin. It rained, and look, the highs. It's only 87 right now, but it's not humid. You walk outside, and it's been. I know 87 is not like fall, but compared to how Austin usually is, it's like fall. It's been a beautiful day. I need to take Jax for WALK, but he's almost figured out how to spell that. He looks at me because he knows he knows when I'm spelling it means something. He just doesn't know exactly what it means. But I've just had a bunch to do. I've been working on stuff for the station. I'm working on this stupid this weekly list is just, I spent 2 hours and I'm sure it's still not right. I guarantee it's still jacked up. Anyway, I'm remembering to share the screen for once. So check this out. All right, well, check this out. I only know what the market did. I haven't looked at it in an hour. For all I know, it could have. I laid down about 2 o'clock. I saw it before I laid down, but okay, good. We closed on highs. Okay, well, that's good. Hopefully we closed all the way through the gap. Not really, but I kind of drew it wrong there too. Good enough. That looks good. That looks a lot better. What a difference a day makes. But anyway, the bottom of the gap is right. We pretty much closed the gap and finished on the highs. That is darn sure a good sign. Now, hopefully that was a 1 day anomaly, a 1 or 2 day anomaly. It wasn't just 1 day. It was the big reversal the day before. That was a giant disappointment that day before. And people, because it closed on the lows and people weren't done selling because they sold overnight. And, and then it created another bearish situation. But however, that one seems to, for right now, is looking kind of trappy. So anyway, all right. Well, so that's good to see. ES up 1.5 points, NQ up 1.9. Even though the alarm doesn't go off, it makes me happy that my Tasty Trade account is going up and everything looks good on that. Wonder how the HIMSS earning trade went. I wonder if they hit. I guess we can look at that here in a little bit. But Anyway, so Bitcoin's up. Bitcoin doesn't look as positive as the market, but the market started turning a little bit before Bitcoin did, so it's fine, I guess. 10-year looks really good down here at 4.21. Tom Lee says we're going to set a new high in through August, and I mean, anyway, that's good. I would take it. AMD's up 2.9. Amazon is getting crushed. I guess after that, was that earnings or that? No, that was earnings. Yeah, last week. ARK doing well, bouncing back just like the market. Coinbase, I mean, is up, but not as much as the other stuff. It basically looks like it's sideways from where it dropped from, but I hope it's stabilizing though. And heck, Coney's up too. If Coney's up 1.5 points, I mean, that's good. That is good. Even old Feppy's up 1.5. Good job, Feppy. GME up on the move. It's up 2.4%, closed on the highs of the day. Google, not so much. Anyway, okay, I'm done with this stuff. Let's look at some other stuff. I want to show you the weekly earnings stuff, but I'll save that because I'm just going to gripe about it. So let's look at probably stuff that you guys more want to see. Let's check out the index buffer report. All right, index buffer report. Well, look at this. SVOL's leading the way. It's up more than its parent. So is SEPI and LFGY. Good job, LFGY. And also XOVR. That's good. Everything else looks like it's in line. FIRS is down for some reason. Not too much, though. Well, it's 1.3%. Who knows? Maybe they paid a dividend. I don't even know anyone who's in that. Or actually, I do know somebody that's in that. It's a good fund of funds. All right, so the YieldMax buffer reported Yieldmax land, everything's up except Exxon and Amazon, and XOMO is down every bit as much as XOMO is down every bit as much as XOM. AMZ's catching a little bit of relief from Amazon. On the bullish side, I mean, AIYY looks really strong, as does OARK, beating the parent. YBIT beating the parent. InFly beating the parent. Murni doing the same thing. All right, yeah, this is looking really good. All right, so let's go somewhere else. Let's check out something else. Oh yeah, this is that earnings thing. Anyway, I'll stay off that earnings for a second. Let's look at the top 20 list. Let's go ahead and look at a fresh one. AMD was number one. Let's see if it stays there. Yes, sir, it does. Am I serious? Am I seeing XYZY? What the heck? Where did this come from? XYZY? Are you serious? I mean, it has a 99% yield, 11% NAV return. Why? How hasn't it been on the other list? I didn't find any errors or anything. I did find errors, but not related to XYZY. The only error I found lately was LFGY was on the list, on the weekend list, that it shouldn't have been on. Anyway, it was. But I haven't corrected anything, so that looks like it's just either other ones are dropping or it's rising. So that's, I mean, that's good to see. I used to have some of that one. I used to like that one. XY. Did it have a positive earnings report? Maybe something I missed or something? No. It does say right there. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't a mistake. It does say there 11% performance for the quarter and a 99% dividend. My question is, why the heck hasn't it been on here before now? I just, maybe other stuff has been dropping. Then you can, I'll bet this is also kind of non-volatile or kind of lower on the volatility thing. The average true range is 32 cents. It's $10. So that's 3%. So it's not really that, it's not that non-volatile. It's not as volatile as Coney, but it's pretty volatile. All right. Well, anyway, it's good job, XYZY. Okay. Well, let's go back here to the high yield report. All right. So I zoomed in a little bit so you guys could see it. AMDY, NVW, NVDY. Those are gimmies. I mean, and look at NVDY, especially with 37% for a year. I mean, even though we don't measure for a year, it's solid. Solid as a rock. SMCY has been on here because it's, but look at this. Where did this come from? Anyway, XYZY, great job. All right. OARC. OARC's been on here for a while and has 23% total return for a year. QDTY, killing it. I'm impressed the QDTY is ahead of QDTE. In fact, QDT is not even on here. In fact, I don't even know if I believe that. I'm going to call BS on that right now. I don't think that's right. I bet you there's a screw up. There's, I mean, maybe. I mean, they're both good funds. I'm not knocking it, but QDT is just such a monster during bull markets because of that night effect. Now, QDTY is also taking advantage of the night effect. They're also uncovered at night. So, I mean, it's possible, I guess. Well, let's get the right time frame down. Boy, this quarter's going by fast. Now we have to go to May 4th. Like just last week, I was doing April for the first day, start of the quarter. Now it's May. So yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea. We'll have to look at the dashboard and try to dissect that. It's got to be a screw up. I bet you. Maybe I erased QDT by accident. QDTY is good, but anyway. QDTY is good. I mean, I hate that I can't trust it. It's just that this should be easy. It's just a calculation. And I find something wrong on it all the time. It's all, but like I always say about computers don't make mistakes. It's humans do. But this is just a grind compiling all this stuff. Anyway, in a second, TSMY, COIW looking good. Of course, we'd expect that. GPTY is a good one. FIBI, MSFO, MSFY, Carvani, CLM is steady in there at 15. 15th place, I should say. Goop, Biggie, Baggy, like Biggie and Baggy a lot. PLTW and Soxy. All right, now what in the heck is going on with, let's go here to that. Let me get a new dashboard. I need to get a different name than dashboard. I need to call this a comprehensive list or something. But let's see how far out QDTE is. I mean, QDT's a monster. There's no way that QDTY. QD has QDT 26 with 42% yield and an 8% NAV return. You got 18% for a year total return. So anyway, we know it's good. I mean, 18% for a year is good. QDT is 8%. I guess this is a pretty big difference, but between 8 and nearly 11. it's like 40 or 50% more NAV return, and it doesn't have 40 or 50% less yield. So yeah, I guess it does deserve to be up there. Nice job, QDTY. Nice job. It does have about a third less yield, but anyway, all right. So the ones that just barely made it, Biddy missed it, Eggs and Eggy, KQQQ missed it this time, Maxie's a little bit out of it, QDT, like we said, QQY, XYLG, YBTC, YETH or YETH. Well, Tom Lee's saying that Bitminer, BMNR, that's the, it's the equivalent for an Ether treasury that MicroStrategies is. He's saying that's the next big thing. It was at 4 when you got on the board, and it's at 32 now. Anyway, all right. Well, there's XDT down the list a little bit, and I can see why XDT is lower on the list. It has 32% yield, which wasn't as much as QDTE's yield at 40, but it only has 4% NAV return for the quarter. So that's holding it back a little bit. But SDTY, who is its competitor, is right by it. And you can see how it works. SDTY has a little bit less yield. In fact, a third less yield. 32 to 24 is a third less, or a fourth less. It's a fourth less. 16, 24. Yeah, it's a fourth less. But XDTE has about, or SDTY has about 50% more NAV return. Anyway, you add them all up and you factor it in, and XDT is ahead. All right. Well, I guess that's all right. Let's see what's last. Look at this down here at Misty. Why? Look at Misty. 115th place, 152% yield, but at negative 25% NAV return, despite the fact it had a 71% total return for the year. That's it. When I sort it by total return, that one comes out highest. But I mean, it has just been getting throttled lately. I almost want to call BS on that. Is it really negative 25 for the? Is it really doing that poorly? Yeah, there it is right there. And it's probably super volatile. Not like that matters, but that's the last factor in there. And it actually isn't super volatile. 80 cents on, no, it's not super volatile. Anyway, not lately anyway. It just, the average true range is the past 20 days. So recent volatility has not been crazy. All right, so let's look at some other stuff. Okay, so let's talk about this daily payer list. This is why I had to take a nap. I had a headache after doing this, and it's not even right. So what did I do here? Sheet 6. All right, I pulled them off and I put them all on one sheet. I wonder if I could share this with you guys. Share private to me. Let's see. Anyone with link. Copy link. Done. All right. Somebody get that if anyone's interested, go through there and look. I kept the live stream from this morning up, and I kept going back and forth between the stuff that people said and then the stuff in there. But part of the thing is people are always shouting out their favorite Rex pays on Wednesday. I don't have any Rex. I don't have COII. I don't have any of those yet. So I mean that's fine. But so basically all I have is but even amongst that, then I also saw in the comments somebody said YETH pays Thursday, but then all the other Round Hill ones are Wednesday. Is that even right? So look at this. I don't know why this has to be so hard. It's just I hate detail work like this. So I mean, Round Hill's Tuesday, okay? I believe QDTY is Friday. Anything from Yield Max or Defiance is Friday. I've been told. GPTY, so that's Friday. Round Hill's Tuesday. So I got Tuesday and Friday because all I have is Round Hill and GP2. I don't have any of the funny ones. Those funny ones from Rex, those MS2 and stuff, they haven't been around long enough. They're all going to get put on here this month, but they haven't been around that long. So, and I think Defiance is the same as Yieldman. I think that's Friday too. So Round Hill Tuesday. So Friday, Defiance. So WDT, STTY, Friday, YBTC, Round Hill. That doesn't even sound right. If that's the case, why was somebody telling me YETH was Thursday? Is YETH Thursday? Anyway, I shared the file with you guys, but I only have one Granite Shares. I've been told is Tuesday, and I only had one Granite Shares on here for some reason. That's another problem. Where's the rest of the Granite Shares? They may not be old enough. I remember they brought out that Tesla one first. They brought out Tesla, but they also brought out YSpy. I know YSpy's on here. Maybe not. Maybe that's another part of the problem. Maybe somehow YSpy got dropped. Well, anyway, like I say, I'm sure this is still wildly wrong, but because all I really did was, and also Defiance isn't Wednesday, it's Friday. What am I doing? So all I have is Friday and Tuesday, basically. I mean, yeah, we have blocks on Monday, but blocks isn't on the list yet. I'm still not sure where week pays. Okay, so week is Round Hill, but then I've been told week pays Wednesday, but all the other Round Hill pays Tuesday, but YETH pays Thursday. Is that true? I've been told so many different things. I have no earthly idea at this point. And this should have taken me 5 minutes, but it took me all morning because I also had to go through the ones and make sure that these other ones were really I probably missed some of those too. But so basically all we have is Friday and Tuesday. I mean, I don't have there's not one Wednesday on here that I saw. Okay, there's a Wednesday and that one. Oh, and it's week. And I don't even know if that's right. Anyway, I'll look in the comments. I'm sure you guys have comments. Okay, week's the only Wednesday pair you've seen. Okay, so that's right. See, I could trust I could trust you guys. So I went in Discord and I asked, and I said, when does this? So I was doing them, but there's just just a pain in me. These are a pain. All right, what's going on up there in Quebec? 75 degrees, feels like late August here. Really, it feels more like, doesn't really feel like late. It feels like September here because the air just doesn't have the humidity. It's like the humidity got cut out of the air. And this morning it was about 75 and no humidity and just beautiful. Now it's nearly 90. So it's kind of climbed up as the day's gone on. But anyway, okay. So YBTC is also, okay. Yes. Okay. YETH and YBTC is also Thursday. Okay. I'm going to go switch that right now. YBTC and YETH is also Thursday. So, so week is Wednesday. Why do I have Maggie on? Maggie, I keep thinking, I don't think of that as being Round Hill, but that's a Round Hill property. Okay. Okay. So YETH is Thursday. And YBTC is Thursday. Is that what you said? There's YBTC. Okay, so let me switch that to Thursday. Okay, this is getting closer. All right. You guys see anything else that's wrong on that list? Let me know. All right. Alti's the next to decline. The trend will go elsewhere. Yeah, you think so? Possibly. Let's see here. My day's going pretty good, SB, other than I'm fighting with this list. And hey, get this. Did you guys hear the alarm? And look, it still says the time on there. It says 3:20. So is my volume not up? No, my volume's all the way up. I mean, I used to be decent at computers and stuff. I mean, I don't get it. Anyway, I know I can't trust that when I lay down, but I mean, how can that even be? I mean, how's that even possible that something cannot work? I don't even get that. Here, I'm going to set it again. I mean, this makes me mad. So I'm going to set it for 3. 3:45. 3:45 p.m. It says right there, I know the glare's on it. It says 3:45 p.m. Alarm, repeat never, sound radar. So it ought to sound like a submarine, like I think, or so that's the sonar sound. But radars, I get radar and sonar mixed up. But anyway, all right. Let me see what you guys are talking about. Hey, Brandon, thanks for being here. Thanks for being here as well. Dan, SB, appreciate you guys. Yeah, Ofer, I did have a nice weekend. I hope you had a nice weekend as well. So who was this? BR here? Oh, there's BR. Did you do that? I made a few suggestions on hymns. Did you do anything on that hymns? And I don't care if you didn't do my suggestions. I mean, you got to do your own thing. But I just, I really don't care if you did the suggestions. But anyway, I was bored because I was sitting here going from one line to the other, looking at stuff and trying to see, when it paid. And then you guys started talking about options, and I used any excuse to do anything else. All right. Well, anyway, I might have D&D turned on. Oh yeah, do not disturb. Yeah, you're right. I might have another setting that overrides it somewhere. Okay, that's a good. That's probably what it is. And I don't think I do. But that's probably it's what it's got to be. It's got to be. That's got to be it. All right. Well, whatever. Thanks for troubleshooting that for me. That's got to be it. The quotes in E-Trade are messed up as well. Is that right, Dan? Well, all right. Well, let's look at something. What's going on here? Let's look at some options. Let's see here. I hope we don't have to use Allen's hedge from this morning, but that was a good one. I mean, that's a cheap. A 580, 560 for a month away, because volatility is so low right now. You can put on hedges for cheap. I mean, heck, that's $60, and and it doesn't have to drop that far to make a, you go halfway through and it drops 5%, and you have a what do you have, a 4 or 5 bagger, and gosh forbid if something really bad happens, it's more, but I'm saying, a 5% drop in 2 weeks is not at all unrealistic. It's not like I just thought when Alan, if you're here, I'm not talking about you when you aren't here, but I was just thinking, no criticism. I was just thinking 520 is just a little bit too far out to go. So that's why I thought that this might work better to spend about the same money, but just do something a little closer. But anyway, but yeah, that's not maybe I should do something like that. Well, anyway, all right. So let's see what else we have. I thought this was interesting, and I forgot to show this morning. We're going to go look at the Crypto Trinity in a second, but this is the Crypto Trinity section of the broadcast. Look at this. This Alti trade made another $1 million today because I guess they managed their trade and they took off a long wing or something. So now this is their most recent position they have on. They have on these 3 positions. I don't have the price they paid in there, but because they did it a few days ago. But this is what they own. They're short. They're short a. If you exclude this, they're short a straddle. Or I'm sorry, it's a strangle. And then they have a long put, which I don't know. That to me is wasting money. I guess that keeps them from having a loss on the downside. But as volatility, do they really think UVIX is going to drop? I guess it could. I guess it could drop past there and create I guess they don't want any risk on one side. I get it, but anyway, I have that they're up about $1 million on this. So Alti had a great day. Now Ofer says it's an extra drop, and it may well be. I mean, it's had a good run, but my prediction is it'll do well as long as the market does well. They have a bunch of high beta stocks in there, and so it should always at all times, to me, be kind of a reflection of the market and it should go up faster and down faster. But yeah, if the market goes down, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty in that thing. But let's hope, though. I mean, let's hope that next time the market goes down, Jay will put on another long. He'll anticipate it and put on a long UVIX trade. But right now, he basically has on a short UVIX. But whatever, it's making money for him. It's printing money. All right, so let me show you what I gave. 3 ideas. What I gave SB, or I put not SB, it's BR, and I put it in the comments. So I gave it to everybody. But this is the first idea. And that you got a huge buffer. You get a lot bigger buffer when you don't buy the wing, because the wing's an expense. Giving yourself long, because you're buying options, it's an expense. So you don't. But anyway, so you just do that if you just want to take your wife to dinner. Heck, you have to do several contracts. But I mean, it's you get a third of the distance between the wings, just like Tasty Trade says. They don't tell you to go out a week; they tell you to go out 45 days. So, but I mean, be that as it may, you do get a third of the distance, and you create a 10% buffer for yourself in a week. And all you want is for HIMS. You just, you don't want it to go down, and that's the whole idea of HIMS. So, anyway. All right, so that's one idea, and I don't even know if they hit or not yet. They probably missed earnings terribly, and these are all bad. But then the second level 2 HIMS is, well, the level 2 idea was to do it this way, to add a wing, but you knocked your buffer zone from 11% to 6%, and that makes sense. You took about half your cushion out, but that's because you were spending that on the call. There's no free money, but you might be real happy you got this call if they do well. So that's level 2, and then we have level 3. Level 3, you just don't want the stock to go anywhere. Or this is a bearish one, really. But it can go up 7.5%. You still make $100. If it goes way down, you don't make a lot of money. You just keep, but you do it for a credit. It's a small credit anyway. All right. So what happened to HIMS? Did HIMS have a good performance? Or is it disappointing, or does it not happen till the morning? Let's go over here to earnings thing. And we're going to go the Crypto Trinity also. In fact, I should go the Crypto Trinity before we go to earnings, but I'm just glad I'm remembering to share the screen. I did good this morning. I remembered to share the screen the whole time until the computer crashed, and then I didn't remember to reshare it, but I did well this morning. Okay, so there's HIMS after the close. All right, well, let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. BR is probably in the comments saying he didn't even do anything or something. I guess I should check the comments. But yeah, that's a Froggy. It's probably what it is. It's a profile where I have it, and that happens on the phone. You have privacy and that kind of stuff. You had set it on, what do they call it, concentration mode or focus mode or something. Yeah, but this is an older iPad, and I really don't think I have that, or if I do have that, it's not set. This iPad is like from 2017, and some of the latest stuff doesn't run on it. I mean, it's super basic. So anyway, HIMS is down. Oh, shoot. Well, BR, gosh darn it. I hope he didn't do those, because those were bullish. I mean, that third one wasn't bullish, but it's not down 8.6. He's just going to get to keep that $30, but that's better than nothing on $170 worth of risk. Okay. Well, HIMS is deflated. Uh-oh. Well, all right. Yes, it's a big loss for all of us, Ofer. I like Brad a lot. I've been on a live with him on Twitter, and we got along really well. He believes he loves this upside like I do, and he's a growth investor at heart, and he's conservative. We got along really well, and if I was hoping I'd get to go to New York and shake his hand and stuff. But anyway, I'm looking forward to meeting him, and also I really wanted to meet Health and Wealth. I like those guys a lot, and of course, I already know Coach and the other guys. Anyway, I do not know. I do not know, except I have heard that he's all right. People have talked to him. He's fine. He said just a choice. That's all. I've heard he's fine. Everything's fine. So he didn't get hacked. It is a real deal, and he's fine. He just wants to. This stuff's a grind. He's a real high. He strikes me as a really ambitious person, really smart, and really holds himself to a very high level of performance. And this, you can work your butt off on this. I mean, I work 12 hours a day most days here, and my content's not nearly as good as his. I can't imagine how hard he works on his content because he's so detailed. He writes scripts. He looks perfect. He puts on a pressed shirt every time. He's, he never flubs a line. I mean, that guy, he's meticulous. And maybe the grind just got to him. I don't know, but I could see that. I mean, but anyway, but yeah, he is definitely going to be missed. And I'll try to do some more smart content like he does. The smartest thing he ever did was, in my opinion, it was something that I should have done first because I knew about it. Of course, I probably mentioned it in here a million times, but I should have turned it into content. But the reason why, well, I knew about this. That as soon as we saw the prospectus on Roundhill, I said they're uncovered at night. So in being uncovered at night, you get extra upside in a bull market. It'd probably be worse in a bear market, better. It's a bull market enhancer. And so I said that a jillion times. But anyway, he came out, he wrote a script and made a video and got the white paper and put the study up and did it the right way. Anyway, I was really impressed because I didn't think any of the other influencers would pick up on that. But that's because that's an old Wall Street study. I know that from a long time ago. That's brokers know that and stuff, that there's hidden alpha in the nighttime markets. So anyway, but yeah, he educated your approach to income investing. Yes, he's a sharp guy. Well, anyway, yeah, Hims did go limp. We'll try to keep up the good work he was doing here. But yeah, he's a good guy. So who else do you watch, Ofer? There's some other good guys out there. Do you watch? There's lots of other good guys out there. The other really good one, in my opinion, is Adriano. But there's Health and Wealth. There's Coach. I mean, there's tons of good ones. But I really liked Adriano as well, and Health and Wealth, and Coach. Anyway, all right. So let's see. Let's go to the Crypto Trinity. Yeah, good suggestion, Dan. Thank you very much. Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. I never remember to say that, but do not forget to like and subscribe. All right. So now, why is the Crypto Trinity not up? Now let's look here. Maybe I think I just shut it when I was doing the I just shut it when I was doing those dates. I was just thinking those dates should take me like an hour to do, and I spent all day jacking with them, and then I took like a 45-minute nap. But I spent from the time I got off this morning, 9:30 or 10. Yeah, I took jacks and we messed around for a little bit, but I spent from like 10:30 till like 2:30 on trying to get those earnings or not the daily pay thing straightened out. I was thinking, okay, this will take an hour and then I can make some content. So now I haven't even made any content yet. And anyway, it is a grind. If I needed the money, this is not a good job for somebody that needs the money. And believe me, I like money, but I'm not using this to feed jacks for myself or to pay rent. But this would be this is a grind. This is a grind. It's a labor of love. I think my deal is I really like teaching. I like having knowledge that other people don't have and giving it to them. My favorite thing about this channel was teaching initially just how covered calls work and how actually everyone was just intent on these things eroding. And actually what these things do, as you guys know, they're selling options and they're actually gathering erosion from people that buy options. And, and that goes into the NAV. Now, it doesn't make them perfect investments and it doesn't mean their price can't go down, but it's usually because the market's getting crushed. Anyway, I love teaching people. Just like yesterday, I taught somebody, that if your NAV's up 40%, but your your NAV's down 40%, but you get a 60% dividend, it's a 20%. You're still 20% ahead. It may seem simple, but I like that kind of stuff. And because after that, I think he was like, oh, I get it. Okay. All right. So that's why I do it. I like to teach. I really do. But I also like to learn. You guys, I mean, I learned so much from BR has trades, or not BR, SB has trades that does trades that I've been really wild trades, super aggressive, poor man's covered calls with strikes I've never even thought of before. And scramble, is a good tasty trader. So I like to learn just as much as anything. So I like when you guys post things from other influencers when somebody else knows something that we don't, and they're talking about whatever, and then we post it, and then we'll start talking about it too. So I definitely like to learn. All right, so here's Altis. There's Altis positions. Okay, whatever. NBIS app, that's good. Now let's look at the Altiverse. Boom. Okay, there we go, and it's working now. So we have Alti. Well, the Galaxy's a stale quote though. So notwithstanding that, I should have fixed that, but I bet it's still up 3%. The market closed on its highs. It may be up 5%. Who knows? Anyway, Alti is up 1.8, which is good to see. The average stock is up 2.6. The average stock in their index is up 2.6. See, in this UVIX, there's a weakness in this. All I'm doing is measuring how much the underlying moves. Well, that UVIX position he had on was neutral to bearish. I don't factor that in this. This is just showing the performance of the underlying. So really, I think that Jay's probably up about $1 million today on that trade also. But he did have a couple of underlines that went down a little bit, but not much. Anyway, great job, Alti. Great job, Alti. Okay, here we go. Let's look at Galaxy real quick, just see how far off that is, Is there any other earnings we need to look at besides HIMS? Man, I hate when that happens, when they miss really big. On the other hand, if it's down 8%, that first one I suggested may still work. And really, because it's early in the week, the other ones may work also. I mean, because it has a while to come back. Anyway, okay. So Galaxy is up 7.4%. Heck yes. Heck yes. We could go switch it, but let's just, when we're looking at the crypto trinity, just add a little bit in your head for Galaxy. But I love this pattern right here. I call this a 3-bar reversal. I'm sure other people call it that too. But here's a classic one right here. But where you have one bar that takes out a previous low or whatever, but then the very next bar, it goes the other way and closes on highs. Just like that 3-bar reversal pattern. You see the opposite all the time too. There's a bearish 3-bar reversal pattern there, but just a simple pattern. But anyway, that's good. But what I like about that simple pattern, somebody taught me, forget who it was, back in 2020, I was trading futures or maybe options or something, the concept of know where you're wrong. And when you're a chart trader, so if you're trading this pattern, you can put on a long against that pattern. And then if it takes out this low, that's where you're wrong. And you can see there's times it doesn't. You can find ones that didn't work and stuff. But if you're wrong, you're wrong. You use options. You don't have unlimited loss. You buy a call or a call spread, you're wrong, whatever, that's fine. But, if you catch one of these where you're right, and you roll it a couple of times, you can make a good amount of money. Anyway, I didn't do it because my alarm didn't go off. Okay, get this. It's same thing. It's already past 345 and it just like resets it it just turns it off. Anyway. All right. Well, but yeah, great job, Galaxy. Great job, Galaxy. Look at this five-year performance, 2,200%, 3-year performance, 600%, performance for the year, 138. My Lord. Anyway, okay. Let's go back to the crypto trinity. All right, crypto trinity. So that's LFGY. Let's just check out the LFGY verse. Okay. So this is saying the only ones that are down are Circle and B. Is BM&R really down? How did that happen? Heck, Tom Lee was on CNBC today pumping it. But anyway, everything else was up. LFGY had a better, think about this. LFGY had a better day than Alti, and that really doesn't surprise me. But think what happened the other day, and we've talked about this a million times. Whenever the market got crushed on the downside, LFGY went down further, and so did Blocks. But Blocks is another story. But just between LFGY and Alti, they're both good. But when Alti does a call, so you can do two things with options. Here's Max's rule of options. So you can accomplish two things, but you can't accomplish three. It just doesn't work. So on Alti, their two things are we're going to sell premium and then we're going to buy a put. We're going to sell premium and be protected. Those are our two attributes we're going to get. Okay. Well, on LFGY and YieldMax, they're like, okay, we're going to sell premium. They all have to sell premium, but then it's what they do with the other thing. We're going to sell premium and we're going to add a little upside. We're going to partially uncap our upside. And boy, you can see it in the results because they're killing it today. They did even better than Alti. Nothing wrong with Alti, but Alti just because of the nature of callers. And it's not like they don't just leave the callers on till expiration. They'll roll their callers and they can still catch upside. But you guys know what I mean. In a vacuum or on a one-day comparison, that when you have a big up day, LFGY ought to do better than Alti, other things being equal, just because it has that partially uncapped upside. But on big down days, you can see that Alti really shined the other day, especially compared to Blocks. But Blocks is a whole different story because they do two things with options also, but they do it in a different part of the option book. Anyway, okay, well, great job, LFGY. That's good to see. So LFGY is more bull market focused, I would say. And I don't want to say Alti's bear market focused because you wouldn't want Alti in a bear market, but Alti handles, big down days better. At least the other day it did. So, all right. So let's look over here at Blocks. Here's the Blocks positions. I need to get it this working. I don't know why. I know that they aren't. I know those aren't zero. I don't understand why it's. When I download the results today, I'll make sure to get Alti right. But this right here is how their stuff performed today. The stuff that they do have. So their average thing was up about the same as them. 2.1, 2.7. Now I'll say this also, just because of the nature of the two things they do, they use one option to get an income and they use another option to hedge downside. So it's similar. They're similar in construction a little bit to Alti, except they push all their risk off to the bearish side. So that means on down days, they have to settle up losing trades more. But anyway, so they theoretically have no risk pushed off to the upside. So I would say out of the three of them, this one should be, other things being equal, should be the most bullish. YMAX in the middle and Alti, the most conservative, although you really can't call Alti conservative. But anyway, okay. And look, I think that pretty much held because Blocks got a little bit more upside than LFGY, and they also have different stocks, but I'm just saying other things being equal. Other things being equal. Okay, so what have I forgot to? Hey, what's up, Retire? And hey, what's up, Jonathan? I appreciate you being here. Hey, my Twitter's blowing up. I'm taking a lesson from Retire. I can't believe I haven't been influencing or trying to influence on Twitter. I need to stop being so cheap. And if I pay for StreamYard, I can't believe it's $45 a month. It was $29 when I first started a month. But anyway, so now it's $45. That's fine. But if I pay for StreamYard, I could put this on Twitter as well. Anyway, my Twitter I went from 130 followers to I haven't checked all day, but it was like 222 last night. So, and a lot of that's due to you, Jonathan. I appreciate you retweeting my stuff. Then I did, when I put out my top 20 list, I published it to Twitter I've been more active on Twitter, but I believe that Jonathan's the main reason I'm doing well, but I also think I'm just more active on it. I have a long way to go to get to, to get to where it can be another income source. But I mean, it's not crazy to think it'll be another income source soon. I mean, all right. So here, what are you saying? No, for you want Galaxy to go down, you buy it. Oh, you'll buy it if it will. COIW and blocks were waiting for me to buy them to drop. Well, wonderful. You got a 7% drop from blocks the other day. That was a good chance. That was a good chance to buy him. Good job, Mark. Your SPY calls expiring tomorrow finally went in the money. Well, my SPY calls expired worthless on Friday. And of course, I didn't replace them because I was scared the market's going, whatever. Yeah, I didn't replace them. And if I would have, look what would have happened. I'd be right there with you. They probably might not be in the money yet, but yeah, I should have just put on another position for Friday. Oh, and yeah, COIW dropped. Yeah, COIW really had it. It wasn't its fault. It was Coney. It wasn't Coney's fault either. It was, I guess, Coinbase had a bad earnings report or something. I mean, so I mean, what are these things going to do? What are you going to do if it has a bad earnings report? Okay, so let's go back and let's look at the high yield technical analysis. So let's. So I wonder if this is even complete enough. I guess what I'll do is I'll run a get paid every day list. I need to do some programming first. I need to have Google Gemini do some programming. But if you guys agree that it looks like I got this pretty right, we don't see anything on here that are wrong. So, I mean, QDTY is Friday, GPTY is definitely Friday, right? LFGY, wherever it is, it's Friday, correct? Then we have COIW, it's Tuesday. Chippy's Friday, because is that right? This is what I was doing all morning. I was like, is that right? And then I was using this. Then I would come over here. And this doesn't tell you what day it gets paid, but some of them just don't seem, I mean, I get confused on which ones are Friday, which ones are weekly, and which ones are, but that's right, because the portfolio ones are weekly. That's right. So of course, yeah. Because this is basically like GPTY, which is also weekly. It's just the single stock ones that aren't. Yeah, of course. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, so assuming that's right, I'll run that, and then I'll probably post it on Twitter, and I'll post it in our Discord, and that kind of stuff. All right. So let's look at something else here really quick. Or no, not that. Okay, the implied. Let's check out. Let's try to get a game plan for tomorrow. Okay, I'm zooming in there. So, so light blues before the market. So British was too late on these anyway. I don't care about Pfizer, Caterpillar, APO. LMND. Okay, well, anyway, we missed those. So for tomorrow, anytime we look at bar chart, this open lately, the past week has been at the top of either unusual activity or best covered call ideas. So, and no wonder, because it's pricing in a 21.94% move. Wow. That's something else. I don't know how their options look, but maybe something for tomorrow in open or upstart, snap. Then here would be the, Devon Energy, good Oklahoma company right there, and Amgen, only predicting a 5 or 6% move. Then we have Wednesday morning, Shopify, Uber, McDonald's, but now we're getting into some more interesting ones. What's this one? Is that Space Force? I mean, does Space Force? I've looked it up before. I used to know what that is. SPCE. It's Space Force, right? Space Force is a public company now. What is it? Gosh darn it, I used to know that. Anyway, Beyond Those are some pretty big moves right there. These the ones with the big moves, lots of times are the ones that we can get a lot of buffer on. So maybe we'll try something in Upstart or Open or Space Force or Beyond. There's that IONQ. I believe that one is in Alti. Then we have Peloton. That one used to be a good one until, during 2020 and 2021, Peloton, Lululemon for trading. I used to trade those all the time, but they just they aren't as attractive anymore. Datadog. Okay. So then these are your prime ones right here. So that's Thursday morning. Is that right? 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Yeah. Thursday morning. Trade Desk. Alchemy, that one has pretty good options. So let's look over here. How did I not have my Tasty Trade up? I thought I did. Yeah, I saw Mark said something about SPCE. I didn't see it fast enough, but I'm going to go look. It's Space Force. Oh, Virgin Galactic. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense because at first I was thinking it's Elon's company, but that's not public. The best way to buy that, or the only way to buy that, if you're a regular guy, is in an ETF and XVOR or whatever. All right, yeah, Virgin Galactic. All right, let's look at some of these options. Now these are the closing prices, but this thing's just too cheap. That's the thing. That's why I keep ignoring it. So what's the other one that was for tomorrow? So it was Open and it was Upstart. Let's look at Upstart. The other super volatile one. Well, I like the liquidity in this. Look at Jiminy Criminy. That's a 16% buffer right there. The 71.64 bull put spread, or I just call that sell a put spread, selling a put spread. You're selling a put spread or you're buying a put spread. When you're selling a put spread, of course it's bull because you're selling puts. When you're buying a put spread, it's bear. I just say selling or buying, but yeah, you're in this case selling a bull put spread. Some people would call that buying, but whatever. You're putting on a bull put spread. Credits there. The liquidity, I can just tell by look at this three. Yeah. The IV's 247. My gosh. All right. So let's add a call in here. Let's look and see about the skew. I'm sorry the Tasty Trade isn't open. I wanted to go to Tasty Trade, but I don't want to sign into my brother-in-law's account on live stream. So I guess we could go to my account. It doesn't have as much in it to get as my brother-in-law's, but anyway. All right. So what I just want to check is the skew. So it's 242 right there at the money. Now let's check the out of the money put skew. 247. Okay. The deep out of the money puts are 246. Same. So no skew down that way. 242. Now let's go out here pretty far. 232. So it's not like these out here are even higher or 300 or something. So anyway, maybe something like this will work. Let's take a look at this. I'll do this during the day whenever prices are live. I just wanted to see if what was going on. Man, that's still a 31 delta. Oh, that far out. Okay, here's a 20 delta, which is what I like. Right there. It just landed on right there. It's about 13% yield. with the 14 or 15% buffer. This is a pretty good looking one right here. Just by math, 14 or 15% buffer. Like I say, we'll do a fresh one tomorrow. I'll just save that for now. We'll just save that one for now. All right, Jonathan, what's going on here? PLTY Posse earning a forward. Okay. Did PLTR have earnings this week? I'm just curious. Wasn't that last week or something? Let's look at PLTR. PLTR is getting ready to be in the max factor also. They need to stop coming out with so many funds, because that's the max factors, because I have to wait 3 months, and this one's been around for a while. Okay, well, why the heck is this one? It has 30% return. There's got to be another error, and that's typical. But because I haven't seen this one on any list, but you're gonna pay a. Oh well, that's PLTR. No, of course, that's not on any list. Let's look at PLTY. Yeah. Anyway, that's what it takes to have a strong underline. So this should do really well too. This has definitely been out long enough. It's only 4%. It's only got 4% upside for the quarter, which isn't bad with the 50%, 60% yield, but it's, comparative, it's not quite as strong as some of the other ones in there. And it moves $2 a day. I mean, that's 4% or something. Anyways, that's fine. That's about like all of them do, or it's about like a lot of them do. All right. Well, I guess I can see why that one's not. Let's see where PLTY is on the list. Here's old Alti. Alti was kind of climbing up the list. It had been lower. Or wait, that's not. Let's see, dashboard. It's the same thing, but not history. All right. All right. So I'm looking for Pulte. Here's Pulte at 45th. I mean, that's pretty brutal to think there's 45 funds that are doing better than it. I don't know about Clip being ahead of it. I don't think that's right. I call BS on that. It's right there with XPay at 43rd. So everyone was saying I was wrong about XPay. All I was thinking about, I just don't like how XPay doesn't sell options. I get why you'd want to do it, because I get the taxes and stuff, but let's go look at XPay versus something. Well, let's just look at XPay against QDTE, or against XPay is a good comparison for SpyT. Let's look at XPay because they pay about the same. SpyT does options and XPay doesn't. Maybe it doesn't make a difference. I mean, T-Spy just sells shares and sells some of the shares and pays with it. And I mean, so far it's working out for them. I don't know. All right. Well, since inception, it's beating SpyT. Let's check it out for the quarter. Boy, that's pretty dang close. Let's look at the NAV. The NAV on SpyT has gone from basically it's up 50 cents from 17, or it's actually up 70 cents. It's up 71 cents off a base of $17. 71 cents off a base of $17. Okay. This one right here is about the same. It's like $1.50 on a base of. So NAV wise, they're really close. The yield's got to be about the same. So anyway, but let's check out XPay against one of the top performing of those type index funds. And so let's check out the highest one on the max factor is QDTY. So let's check it out against something that actually sells options. And of course, QDTY is doing better. In the NAV and everything, QDTY's NAV is up even more than XPay's. And it's paying a higher yield. So QDTY compared to XPay, if those are the only two funds in the world, QDTY looks like free money. I mean, because it's making more, it's paying more yield, and you aren't even having to pay the toll. You aren't even getting the less NAV return like you would normally expect when you get more yield. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Oh, they did earnings today. Okay. Reported at the close today. I didn't even see that. Okay. Well, let's look at PLTW now, as PLTW is maybe one of the ones that's not new enough. Well, I think it is though, but let's look. PLTW came out in like February, right? PLTW, if I remember. Some of the W ones just came out recently, but PLTW. Really? Is this one not? Did I type the? There it is, PLTW. All right. We'll go find out where it is, Mark. And I was right about February. I know because I've looked it up a million times. 11% for the quarter. I mean, heck yeah, PLTW. Okay, so this is. We'll see where it's at. It got to be a mistake because it should be it should be right up there at the top, right? I mean, or at least in the top 40 or something. Oh, it's 19. Okay, that's good. At 54% yield, 10% NAV. Hasn't been around a year, so we don't know on the total return. It's pretty good. It's right next to Baggy. Looks like it should be on top of Baggy to me. It's the darn volatility component that sometimes makes these off. But like I say, it's the max factor, and I like stuff that's a little bit less volatile. So, and I do. If you stuck a gun to my head and made me invest in Baggy or PLTW, I'd take Baggy. I really would. Or Biggie. I just like the concept. I like the prospectus. I mean, I know they don't have a Baggy anyway. Forget about Biggie. I like what the prospectus said. And they're both good. So look at this XYLG. Let's compare that to, because that's another Roundhill product. I don't want people to think I'm trashing Roundhill, but let's compare that to XPay, because that's a fair comparison. It's not fair to line them up against a Q-based fund. Although it doesn't really matter because they don't even trade options. I mean, but it says X in it, so we're going to compare it to the SPX. I mean, that makes them look pretty good there. I mean, XPay looks really good there. So what does XYLG do better? And the answer is, I don't know. Let's see, $78. That's got to be wrong. There's no way it just paid 38 cents or it probably paid that, but the very next day it probably got another dividend. Or the day before it had one that's just not in the time frame. So I don't think that's indicative of it. Let's look at this. Let's see what they're really doing. Yeah, they're doing about 24%. So, I mean, since XPay's only paying 20% and these guys are paying 24%, yield is a tax on NAV upside. I'm fine with XPay doing a little bit better on NAV than these guys, but it looked like XPay was just spanking these guys all the way around. Let's see. I mean, they're both doing all right on NAV. It looks like the NAV's about even. Anyway, XPay is doing a good job. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe since they of course they aren't selling options, so they don't have path dependency, but they do have sequencing risk because they have to sell the stock when they need an income to pay a yield. And depending on where it lands when they need to pay it, they might have to sell at inopportune times and stuff like that. So it's not like XPay is without risk, but XPay doesn't have to settle. It doesn't have to be capped out in a covered call trade, and doesn't have to settle a covered call trade at a disadvantage to the broader market. So, I was saying the other day, it'd be nice to be wealthy enough to worry about that little amount of income, because the SPY doesn't. It's basically trying to give you the SPY without having to worry about the SPY's dividends, or it's supposed to give you the SPY's upside. But then somebody in Discord said that they used it, and you don't have to be Warren Buffett or whatever. And I thought about it. Every little bit helps on taxes. There's a big difference between normal income and then a capital gain. The capital gains are less than ordinary income. So that's pretty impressive right there. Let's look at XPay since inception. Like I say, it's not like it's not without risk. In a down market, XPay is going to be selling stocks at lower prices, and then as it rallies, it should lose ground to stuff that doesn't do that. And you can see, in fact, it did do that. It had to sell in April, and that made it lose ground to the SPY. It was right with the SPY. Other than that, I think maybe XPay would be all right if the market only went up gently over time. Well, let's just say this. We even know if the market went up 20% every year, or maybe 40% every year, but if the market went up, they wouldn't have the sequencing risk. I think the sequencing risk comes from, having to sell, but they don't have to settle option trades. So it is an advantage. Maybe I need to do a new video and apologize to the Round Hill guys. I don't think they like me anyway, because I'm such a YieldMax fanboy, and I don't mean to be, but I really think YieldMax has good products. But I will say this: Round Hill does have really good. Their XDT, QDT are wonderful products, so they really do really well at the index type stuff. But YieldMax just has more creative stuff. Round Hill doesn't have anything like Alti. Not yet anyway. And anything like LFGY and Round Hill's never done that. Round Hill didn't start doing the covered call spreads. That Jay was the first one that did that. I realize it's in Neos's prospectus, but they weren't doing them. I hear they are now, but that the Jay was the first person I know of to normalize the covered call spread, and I think that's made a big difference. So I guess I'm just kind of a YieldMax fanboy. I don't mean to be. I really think they're good, but. Anyway, but yeah, that is an impressive fund there. So you've cost yourself 1.5 or 1.75 of total return over less than a year. So that's not like nothing. But you've paid yourself an income along the way. So good job, XPay. I just like the idea of playing the market and selling options. I'm still saying that I would if I needed that. If I needed, I would use SPY-T or even one of the other ones, but WDTE. But XPay spanking WDTE anyway. All right, well. Marcus, what is going on? The fund companies are a little bit different. I'm glad no one wants duplicate stocks that use the same strategy. Yeah, they all have their different things. And like I say, that Round Hill's index product has been a huge hit, and they brought a lot of assets under management, and that was a huge hit. And Round Hill has a lot of good stuff. This their W series, I think, is incredible and going to be a huge hit. Also, they're just a little bit. They just don't have as much history as some of the Yieldmax ones. But yeah, no, it's great to come out with all kinds of different ideas here, right? All right, guys. Well, I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to talk about, but there's nothing I can think of unless you guys put something in the comments. Sometimes I'm just going through the tabs to see what's up. So I guess if I don't have to worry about, so I guess I'm going to get out of here. I'll probably work till midnight tonight, just like every night. But this isn't hard work either. I know lots of you guys have jobs where you have a boss that's screaming at you or something, and that's real work. That I admit YouTube is not real work, but it is still a real grind. But it's not real work. But be that as it may, I'm going to. I guess if you guys agree that the dates look all right, I'll fix that and I'll get the weekly payers working. I'm going to have a late night with Max and Jax tonight at 7. We'll publish the weekly payers. I'm going to publish them also to Twitter. I just want to make sure. It was so embarrassing the other day. I published that list and LFGY was like 5th and didn't deserve to be on there. But no one called me on it. But I did get a few critical comments about other stuff. But anyway, that's fine. But I'm glad the same person. And by the way, how's that on there? This one sucks, and it does. I can't believe I got it on there. What happened is it was reflecting somehow it handpicked the most recent day. LFGY's been doing great, but then it was down like 5% the other day. That was enough to knock it off the list. So anyway, but somehow I didn't pick that up. Anyway, so be here at 7. We'll figure it out. I'll get the get paid every day list going on, and then we can look at some other stuff as well. Yeah, I need to do I say this all the time, but I really would love to do a comparison, and other people are all over them and stuff, but a comparison when you have, 3 of them that have 2 months data, or, it's just not, it's not that productive, but there's tons of other people that I see all the time getting clicks on, what's the best weekly, or, well, you see them all. There's all different ones, but anyway, there's tons of people out there, tons of reviews already, but I would love to do a review. I guess I've realized that I can't stay up with those other people putting out constant reviews or whatever. And and I'm trying to use big data or trying to use computer power trying to use my tools, because I realize I have a bad memory also. I forget about, someone will tell me about something a month ago, and then I think about it for a while and I think, man, that's a cool concept. That's a great fun. Then it slips off my radar. Well, anyway, but this right here is my superpower. This is going to allow it. This is like a constant review. We can look at, let's just look. Let's see how the NVDWs are doing. We could do a review right now. Well, NVDW and NVDY that's basically a tie. But then let's see how else the other W's are doing. COIW, and let's see where Coney is. So Coney is somewhat lower. Wherever it is, it's lower. What happened to Coney? Come on, Coney. Anyway, but I'm hoping that these numbers are like a live review every day. Because I can actually see them move. COIW, where is Coney really not? Coney was on this database. Well, no, not that. The dashboard. Okay. I guess before I do anything else, I need to get a search function on this, because I spend so much time doing this. This is so unprofessional, and it'd probably be so easy for JavaScript to put a little search functionality in here. Do you guys ever think about YYY? I always joke because it's such a funny ticker, but that's a fund of funds that does closed-end funds, right? It's a closed-end fund of funds, or maybe a BDC fund of funds or something. Anyway, it's interesting. That's a prime example. I would have forgotten about that, but now, boom, here it is. Well, it's paying about a 12% yield, got about 3% NAV upside this quarter, and got 9% total return last year. This just helps me focus on stuff. And even though I can't keep up with the other guys as far as doing all the reviews and writing all the scripts and stuff, we do mini reviews every day in here. So we're doing one right now. So between NVDW and NVDY, we're going to call that a tie. We'll give the edge to NVDW. Roundhill's doing a great job, but or we're going to give the edge to Roundhill overall because of the COIW, CONY situation. What in the heck is going on with you, Coney? Look at this. You lost 2.42% this quarter, and you had negative total return for the year last year. That's fine. I'm not even worried about that, but because the year doesn't even matter. But what is going on this quarter? What is going on? Okay, well, let's think about this. CIW is, gosh darn it, these guys are just, yeah. Maybe I'm going to start becoming a Roundhill influencer. My gosh. Yield max sucks, everybody. Too much erosion. Too much erosion. My Lord, COIW. I mean, I did know they were doing well because for a while they were up like 100% or something. Their NAV was, right? Yeah, last week. But my gosh, I mean, whatever these guys are doing, and they're doing the 20 to 50% leverage and using swaps. They have a little bit different thing. They should do worse on the way down. And sure enough, you can see they did do worse on the way down. They lost 50% of their value in April. Coney didn't do great, but it lost 32% or lost 25% of its value. So it did about twice as well. COIW. That's just how the way leverage works. So man, this leverage has really been working out. Coney for a bear market. Well, not really for a bear market, but if you had to invest in something in a bear market, Coney, and then COIW in a bull market. So there you have. That's a mini review. But yeah, that would have, if I was a normal influencer, I would have taken all that and did a 20-minute script and got 1,000, and done a review and got 1,000 whatever views. But I'd rather, we can do that every day. We'll start watching Coney, and we can watch Coney come back. Maybe at some point in the future, if the market goes down, we'll see Coney pass it the other way. So we just do live reviews here, live mini reviews every day. All right, guys. Well, anything else you want to do a live mini review on? I guess not. Mark's saying later. Mark, you have a good day, and I will talk to you guys later unless I think of something or unless I see a comment that I forgot to react to. But it doesn't look like I did. Yeah, Ofer, you want Galaxy to go down. But I'm going to be out there telling you that I don't agree with you that Alti's the next one to go down. I think Alti's still solid as long as the market's solid. But anyway, we don't all have to agree. That's what makes a market. For every buyer, there's a seller. And I really am going to trim my Alti as soon as they pay a dividend. I think they pay on Wednesday. Just because it's done so well, and I'm just kind of more scared about the market in general. So Marcus, you prefer CEFs over YYY. Well, YYY is just funny because I like the symbol. It's easy to remember. So, but yeah, so you don't mean I like closed-end funds more than what you mean. You like the closed-end fund CEFS, which is a fund-to-fund of closed-end funds. Well, let's do something about that. Let's go over here to the database. Do you know what day they pay on? Well, they aren't going to be weekly, so we don't have to worry about that. Let's go over here to the main database and let's just slap them on here. See, other influencers aren't going to give you this kind of live, this kind of fast results here. CEFS. I assume it's been out a quarter, or at least a year. So let's see. It says 7.88%. I'm sure that's for a year. So, but I do need to put the date in here in case it isn't. So it does the calculations right. Oh, yeah, CEFS. Oh, super closed-end funds. Gosh darn it. CEFS. I thought I'd CEFS. Saba. I would have forgotten. If I didn't do it right now, I would have forgotten. If you guys need to go, just go. But yeah, 7. So that's for a year. So all I need is the date. The inception date is March 21st, 2017. Okay, so and sorry I was a little bit late because of the alarm problem. All right. All right, so there we have it. So you want to see where CEF ranks? Are you serious? That it says, does that say 10? How much would NAV upside has it got? This, so it's 1 year total returns 12.5. That's good. NAV return for the quarter is 4. So it didn't say 10. I mean, it's probably good, but there's that YYY at 59th. I probably missed it. I mean, maybe not. Maybe because it didn't have its mount. Now there's CEFS. CEFS did do better at NAV, but a little worse at the other one. All right. Well, anyway, it's on there now. We'll find it. We'll find it. I mean, we won't find it. We'll track it. If it starts, doing well, we'll see it. We'll see it. Yes, the live on-call comparisons are Max exclusive. Exactly. I have to have my own niche, right? All right, guys. Well, thanks for being here. Like I say, I'm just happy to still have a station. I mean, it's because I hate to see Brad go or whatever, and it is a grind. And believe me, I thought about hanging it up many times. But like I say, I'm not. And I would have to hang it up if it was about money. It's not. The money is nice though. It's nice to be compensated for your hard work, and I do, and I do. The other day I got a kind donation. I get donations all the time and stuff, so I appreciate you guys. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you, and I will talk to you later. Let's try to be back at 7 because I have some stuff I didn't get to today. I want to get to tonight. Or maybe 8, but I'm going to do a late night with Max and Jax, but it won't be so late that you guys on the East Coast will already be in bed. I'll try to do it at the latest at 7:30. So if anyone's around, I'll put a thumbnail up and everything. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much, and I will talk to you later.